Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. I proudly call the City Council meeting to order, and I kindly ask that our City Clerk please take the roll call.
Bowering.
Here.
Furnish.
Here.
Kilberg.
Here.
Kusserag.
Here.
Malachy.
Here.
Marks.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Palmquist.
Here.
Peschke.
Here.
Reinecke.
Here. We begin our council meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask our good friend, and kudos to him, to your team for their great work this weekend, Rich Babica, to please lead us in the pledge. Thank you, Director. Ladies and gentlemen, our first item of business tonight is a presentation by the Aurora Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's my pleasure to welcome the AACVB team to the podium, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council, for having us here.
We're just going to ask you to state your name for the record.
Sure. Court Carlson. I am the Executive Director of the Aurora Area Convention
Thanks,
and
Court.
Visitors Bureau.
Full screen. All the way to the top.
All right, thank you. There we go. All right. Thank you again. Here to give you a quick update. I know you got a big agenda this evening, so we don't want to take too much of your time, but talk about the overall destination marketing that we've been providing to the city of Geneva. I'll do kind of a general overview of the destination marketing and some of our measurements, and then I'm going to call James Cardis, who is our Director of Marketing, to come up and talk about the city's co-op marketing program and on the status of that plan right there. So overview. With the addition of Geneva to the regional destination, the city has been fully integrated into our marketing and sales components. That includes our destination sales trade show planning for both sports, tour and travel, and meetings. Our destination marketing, which is our advertising, leisure travel content, the Illinois Made program, which we've had 2 destinations here that have made that Illinois Made program, and then also our municipal marketing co-op program, which James will discuss a little bit. But really want to get just a general view of where we are, what we're doing, and what the status of the partnership between the City of Geneva and the AACVB is to date. And also wanted to thank both Kathleen Tomazenko and Max the Car from the city, who are both on our board of directors. Max is the general manager of the Company Inn and Suites here in Geneva, and Kathleen also serves on our finance committee for the AACVB as well. We're glad to have their input and their advocacy on our board of directors. So this is our overall destination marketing information as a regional destination. We do look at it as a region. Visitors don't recognize boundaries. They're coming here, they're doing multiple day stays, hopefully. So they are traveling throughout the entire destination. Our destination goes from Geneva to the north, all the way down through Oswego, Yorkville, down the Fox River, and then we go out as far west as Sugar Grove, Hinckley, Plano, and Big Rock out to the west. And these numbers reflect our year-to-date marketing numbers and impact, and our fiscal year is July 1. So this is our fiscal year to date from July 1 of 25 through mid-July when we put the report together. So you can see where we are in terms of the overall regional destination. Almost 320,000 visits to our website. And what's really most important to us is where are those visitors coming from. As you can see, 68% are from outside of Illinois. So those are our outer markets that we are targeting in our advertising and our promotions to bring them here to the regional destination and the city of Geneva. As you're probably aware, all of our funding is based on hotel motel taxes, whether it's local funding or our state grant program. So our ultimate goal is to get visitors from outside the region to visit our destination as an overnight stay. 1, 2, 3 nights in our hotels. That's our goal. So looking at our website traffic, if we're getting 6-8% of our traffic from outside Illinois, they're traveling at least 50 miles or greater to get here, more likely to stay in a hotel. More hotels means more spend. They're eating out, they're shopping, and visiting our attractions and spending more money, leaving more tax dollars for our community investors that we have here. And based on these numbers, the visitation, we estimate a $2 million economic impact on new spending from our sales efforts for group and sports sales markets. So we look at 3 very distinct group sales markets when you look at how we market for larger group business into our destination. One is sports. We have one of the largest sports complexes in the country in Montgomery that feeds into all of our hotels throughout our entire destination. Our motor coach group tour market, senior market, active senior market. The motor coach tours are coming into our communities and spending a day or hopefully 2 days. And then also, we're just now leaning into the meetings and convention market as well. Part of that was implemented through Geneva coming on board and having the Harrington as new product for us. We never had the need or the product to do the meetings and convention sales. We now have that product in place or coming online very, very soon. But through our sales impact just for the current fiscal year, year to date, about $2 million estimated impact on our group's spend. And looking at our visitation, 3.2 million visitors arriving to the region from 50 miles or greater. Again, 50 miles or greater, more likely to stay in a hotel, spend more money in our communities and in our destination. And the average length of stay is 2.7 days. So we're getting them here and we're keeping them here for 2.7 days. Destination sales. Touched on this a little bit, but Geneva has been consistently represented in all of our group sales, meetings, sports, and tourism initiatives. A couple photos here. The one on the left is from the Illinois Park District Association and Parks and Rec Association of Illinois trade show. We take a booth and we invite our partners to come in and exhibit with us at no cost to them. So we had several Geneva resident or Geneva businesses come in with us last year to exhibit. We're doing that again this year, so they will be there with us again. And it's a way that they can talk to the park districts who are planning day trips, senior tours, camps, those kind of things. So it gives them a chance to meet one-on-one with those planners from park districts. And on the right is from the Holiday Showcase, which is a meeting planners trade show in Chicago every December. It is hosted by the Association Forum of Chicago. This is our first time attending the Holiday Showcase. Again, we don't necessarily have meeting space, or we didn't. Now we do. So both the Harrington was there exhibiting with us in the booth, along with the new Hollywood Casino Aurora and their hotel and conference and meeting facilities there. So again, we secured the booth space. We paid for that through our sales budget, and then we invite our partners to come in and exhibit with us. The outcomes, looking at some of our groups that we're servicing and the sports that we're bringing into the region. 2 hockey events that are coming into the Fox Valley Ice Arena. Working with USA Track and Field and the cross-country course here in Geneva, and bidding on some events coming up in the next year or so, hopefully. And then partnering with the Harrington Inn and Spa on small or mid-size meetings market promotion. So looking at actually working into that market for some trade advertising and trade promotion and growing our meeting sales efforts through trade shows and direct sales with our through our staff as well. Destination marketing. This is what we all think of as tourism, is kind of destination. Come visit Geneva. So Geneva's signature experiences and attractions have received consistent exposure in all of our destination marketing efforts. Through Year-to-date, through our travel guides that we publish in-house and are on our website and through our social media and digital programs, 55 mentions for the city. And then website, which is also the, like I said, mentioned, goes into website and social media content focused on Geneva events and businesses. And looking at our destination marketing and how that relates and impacts Geneva. 147 active listings for Geneva attractions on our website right now. So we continue to add the businesses and attractions in the city onto our website. So we have a comprehensive, all-encompassing destination that we get to market. 110 text or photo highlights of Geneva events and attractions in our annual Go Guide. We do that every year. We're just now kicking off the new Go Guide for 2026. We were able to, for the current guide in 25, able to get Geneva into that guide. It was kind of, we postponed that project a little bit because it was, you guys were just coming in last year, but we were able to get Geneva in there. And like I said, 110 text or photo highlights in the current guide for Geneva. And then Geneva, the landing page, which we set up for Geneva, it has risen to the 4th most popular page on our website for all the calendar year of 2025. And I think that's important because really it was kind of first quarter 25 when we were getting Geneva uploaded and fully integrated into our program. So it's great that it's already been the 4th most popular page on our website, really in less than a year of promotion. So I'm going to let James kind of talk about the marketing co-op program, and this really is a signature program that we offer to our local funding communities, where 40% of the funds that we receive from the city is then put back into an individualized marketing plan for the individual communities. So this is a little bit of highlight on the marketing co-op. We established this in 2017. And again, it's a way to create more of a destination within a broader destination for our individual communities and create a tourism branding message for the individual communities. I'm going to have James come up and kind of walk through the marketing co-op program with you all.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening,
I'm
James.
James Cardis, Director of Marketing for the Aurora Area CVB. As Court said, this program was introduced in 2017 to kind of highlight the individual communities with hotels. That's what we mean by funding communities. They have hotel revenue, and then we use that split to do individualized community marketing, really sort of like branding campaigns for each of the communities. In a lot of cases, you know, we're working to get share of voice just for the region outside of the Chicagoland area, and then if we can position each of the communities as their own sort of destination within a destination, that just amplifies the whole message for the region. If you have any questions along the way, please just stop me. I don't want to blind you with science or anything. But there are going to be a lot of numbers and charts as we go along. So this is kind of our co-op program performance to date. We reference in here a bridge campaign, and that was what we did in spring of 25. You know, really prior to, I don't even know if we had received any of the revenue that we're going to use in the split, but we wanted to sort of as a goodwill effort to show, you know, what we can do on behalf of Geneva. We launched a campaign as if we had a co-op program already running. We spent $20,000. We received an extra $10,000 in state tourism co-op funding, so we kind of used a co-op to fund the co-op, or at least partially. And of that $20,000, we received about 3.5 million impressions, 10,000 clicks to the Geneva landing page, close to 3,700 tracked visits, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about our Datafy advertising campaigns, and an estimated economic impact of close to $600,000, and that's between lodging and tourism expenditures. We've launched we reference FY26, that's our state fiscal. We're aligned with the state fiscal, so that's July to June. Anytime you see FY26, that's what we mean. So far, or at least as of the writing of this presentation, we've spent about $18,600, received significantly more clicks. I think the branding exercise that we did in spring has helped because we're hitting a lot of the same people in the outer markets that we target. and they're starting to familiarize themselves with the Geneva brand. And this coincides with our fiscal year in June 26, but we've already been committing some spend in the niche markets like groups and meetings into 27. So, it doesn't just stop, but we kind of need to cyclically track and measure and spend this for our own bookkeeping. The average spend you'll see in the notes under the total, it says economic impact estimated on average spend of $145 to $154 per visitor as reported by Datafy. That's a visitor analytics program that we use. So you've heard of Google Analytics, tracking website visits. This is tracking actual footfall traffic into the region. And when we conduct advertising through Datafy, we're able to track visits based on the cohort that we're targeting, whether or not they click an ad, basically using pixels and other third-party technology to do that. You all know, if you even think about a couch, you're going to see couches all over your phone. The same thing is happening in the travel industry. So any questions on this so far? The visuals show the sample creative. That's kind of what we've been putting into market on a display advertising side. And then the landing page is kind of a cut of what that looked like sometime in the late summer or fall. So there's listings, there's events touting everything that you can see and do here in Geneva. Yeah?
Sorry, just have a quick question.
Sure.
So when we're looking at the time period that the campaign results year-to-date are showing.
Alderperson Bowering, is your microphone on?
I apologize, it was definitely not. Sorry, so when we're looking at the campaign results year-to-date for spring 2025, what is the time period? Yeah.
Spring 25 was really just a 2-month period.
Okay.
We were running basically April, May.
April, May,
25,
okay.
yeah.
And then, so then the fiscal year 26 is then
We-
like May to June?
No,
No,
our state
it's
fiscal
it's
is
after.
July, right.
Okay.
And we actually
So
launched
And then
July
when
to
was this
June.
written? Just.
This
sorry.
was written, January 6th is on there, but I think it was revised
Okay.
up to January 14th.
Okay,
And so that's the latest numbers that I was able to provide.
got it.
You're going to see at the very end a spend to date, and that's going to
Okay.
reflect that 18,600. That
Okay.
spend is, either it's really, there's a lot that's been accounted for that just hasn't actualized yet.
Okay.
Or there's been some money spent since, in the intervening couple weeks or
Okay.
whatever it's been.
So is it just that there's so much greater visitation during that period? You said it was April, May, or May, June? Sorry.
So an interesting,
I'm just noticing the huge discrepancy between
the tracked
the,
visits.
yeah, the tracked
So,
visits.
great, that's actually a great, and I meant to touch on that. So the spring campaign, we're measuring visitation for an extra
Okay.
3 to 6 months.
Okay.
After, like,
So
sort of like
that's the initial
post-impression.
click.
Exactly.
Got
right,
it.
yeah.
And then the
So there-
follow-through might
there are
be much
people-
later.
There are people who were exposed to the Geneva campaign in the
Okay.
spring who didn't end up here until August, September.
Got it.
And the same is going to be true as we run through this year.
Got
And
it. So
and
there's
we
that
also,
delay, yeah.
we've been operating these campaigns on a spring, fall in terms of the Datafy advertising, which is where we get those track visits numbers.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That seems to be good for us in terms of branding and awareness, because those are the times of year where people are doing some travel planning. Hitting them in the summer is kind of a waste of money.
Okay.
So
Got it.
we really didn't start FY '26 for Geneva on the Datafy advertising campaign until September 1st. So.
thank you.
But yeah, great.
That helps clarify
I remember
that a lot,
looking
yeah.
at this when I was putting it together and being like, I better explain that. So thank you for putting that.
I appreciate it, thank
Putting that
you.
question out there. So this is, I'm going to kind of just breeze through these, but you're welcome to ask any questions as you read through it as well. This is just a breakdown of what we did on behalf of Geneva in spring through Datafy. So this is the only channel that I'm talking about in this slide. The campaign run dates, as you see, you're going to see the next one's going to be April 1st. They were literally just a day apart in terms of their activation. Our tactics were to re-engage past visitors. So we look at the outer markets. Colloquially, I like to say there's 25 different markets or target DMAs throughout the Midwest that we really go after in terms of driving visitation to the region based on demographic profile and their likelihood to actually travel, typically via car. A lot of them aren't going to be flying in to come to us. They're going to go to Chicago. So we look at who's been to Geneva previously since 2023. And then we look at lookalikes, which is basically who fits the same demographic profile within those target markets, and that's who we go after. On the right, I give you the campaign visitation by market. This is just from the people who are exposed to the campaign. People from these markets made more than 3,000 trips to Geneva, we know that, but just within the campaign, that's how many they took. So we have estimated economic impact here of about 450,000. That's from the spring Datafy campaign, and that attribution is going all the way through September. So we're going to see that number rise for the current fiscal year campaign. Our return on ad spend is about 18 to 1, just based on that math. And then the most important, the most compelling part of these campaigns to me is this last one. That's why it's in bold. The campaign audience was 2.5 times more likely to visit than a control group not served ads. So we're able to measure that through these campaigns. And when we get into the current year's campaign, you're going to see that number rise. So this is the first time that these people are seeing, our creative in these markets based on our destination message. 2.5 times more likely to visit is pretty good. We're up to we're up to double that, basically, 5 times more likely to visit in the current campaign. And I guarantee you, if I showed you those numbers today, it would be much higher than 742 visits, whatever it is. But any questions on this? Okay. We took advantage of a program called Sojourn. That was offered via state co-op. Sojourn is, I would say, more of almost like an enterprise travel platform. It's really a little bit higher level than we would normally do. They're more useful, I think, for hotel brands and larger destinations. For us, we were like, we're going to get it's free money. Why not make use of it and see how it goes? We took a lot of the same tactics and targeting strategies that we use at Datafy and used it in Sojourn. There's slight differences. We were able to target specifically families with kids and individuals and couples. And we spent 20,000 and we got an extra 10,000. Oh no, we spent 15. There was like a 3-way split between the vendor and the Illinois Office of Tourism and then us. We bought into it, but we were able to get extra co-op money to do this program. They offered an estimated economic impact of about 150,000. And they give us just foot traffic and in-market visits. They don't give us as robust of information as Datafy does. And so as a result, I'm not super interested in pursuing this program again. But again, it was offered with a discount, and so we wanted to try it out. Lodging searches actualized about 97 searches. Room nights based on those searches, only 34. And then 2 car rental searches, which I thought was interesting, but not really moving the needle either way, I don't think. But so, any questions on this one? Okay. I'll try to. This one, the last part of our spring campaign, we didn't, none of this was really charged back to Geneva, but we offered an additional $3,500 splitting local influencer visit between Geneva and Aurora. So in Geneva, we had them do sort of like a couple's getaway weekend. We had them do spa treatments. We had them go shopping, go dining. And, for us, influencers are great, especially those ones that are, based in Chicagoland, because they're going to really hit a local market. But what was compelling to me about working with them was the ability to sort of buy their content. Everything that we do is this huge megaphone saying, come visit, and you can't really trust the brand as much as you can third-party folks who are actually coming here and showing you how to enjoy the region. So not only did they broadcast this content on their own channels, but we've been actually pushing this out via paid social media over the course of the last year, touting a Geneva visit as a sort of couples getaway, especially in the winter months when dining and indoor entertainment like you see at Evenflow are, kind of what we've got going on, really. Go shop, go dine, go see a show. So this is our current year Datafy campaign. And again, I've got the campaign run dates there, September 1st through November 30th, and then we kick back up again in March 1st. This is only one component of the overall program. It's just what's in flight right now. Same targeting tactics as we had in spring. The only change is instead of display advertising, like you saw with those those box images that said Geneva, Illinois on them. We're doing more of like in-feed, sponsored branded content online. So as you're reading articles, as you're browsing around the web, you're not seeing sort of just like a box or a banner, you're seeing like almost like an advertorial feature within content. Again, this was written up in January 6th, just after the new year. Those are all to-date numbers, but that 5.8 times more likely to visit than a control group. That's held steady. And I think once we get to the end of this run of the campaign, we'll be able to give you some really compelling numbers about how this performed. The co-op campaigns, again, they benefit from the fact that we use this platform not only to do the co-op individual branding advertising, but we also do destination-wide advertising and some advertising on behalf of Kane County through the same platform. So next steps, this gives you the actual numbers for the plan. This is something that ordinarily we'd present to you like at the start of a plan, but we're working through, kind of how to present this information. So we can come back to you before the FY27 plan begins, or we can come back to you again at this time and talk about it more on a calendar year basis if you like. The program's underway. It includes online and mobile advertising. Promotion of Geneva as a group tour and small market meetings destination. That's something that's new to us as part of these co-op plans. And that was really just kind of listening to our partners in the industry. They want, like the hoteliers would like to see us to do more transactional, if you're looking for a room in the Chicagoland area, why not put their hotel in front of the consumer? And then on the meetings and group side, it's all about product. It's the fact that Geneva does have really compelling product there, and so we can be more individualized in our marketing in those niche markets in a way that we really haven't been able to with the other co-op programs, but we might in the future. Dedicated paid social, again, right now it's really heavy on that couples getaway content. And the creation of a leisure travel branding video for the city of Geneva. We've done that for Yorkville, Oswego, and North Aurora. And this is something we do as a value add. It's not something that we're going to charge back to the 40% revenue that we dedicate to this program. It's just something that everyone benefits from it. You get to use it. You change 2 scenes in there, and now you've got a relocation or an economic development video. They're very useful videos to have on a municipal basis. This is the plan sort of as a chart, so you can kind of see it. On the left column there, really just talk about what the tactics are. Datify advertising, to me, that's branding. That's just kind of getting the word out about Geneva as a destination. The niche market promotion is more in that sort of promoting product on the sales side of things. Whether they're getting in touch with our director of sales, Lisa Wisner, or they're getting in touch with the Riverside Receptions or Harrington Inn, as long as they're bringing their business here, that's what we want them to do, or what we want planners to do. And since we're, as Court mentioned, we're kind of new to the meetings market, Geneva's going to benefit quite a bit from our purchasing power because we're buying a lot of inventory in the niche trade publications that we're going to be placing Geneva advertising within. Conversion gets into that, like more transactional messaging and advertising tactics. Again, it's not something that we do ordinarily, but again, we've got the opportunity to get a co-op with the Illinois Office of Tourism for both Expedia and TripAdvisor. And speaking with some of the hoteliers, Max from the Comfort Inn and Suites, he mentioned it's a tactic that he likes, Expedia and TripAdvisor, so it's something that we're happy to do on behalf of the local hotels. And then social, we're really active on just the Meta and Reddit platforms in terms of our advertising. Those seem to work best for our audience. Other DMOs may do things differently, but for us, that's what seems to work. And we're dedicating only 6,000 there, and that's going to be primarily that couples getaway and then event promotion as well. We find social to be really effective for that. And then no charge for the media production. I want to shout out to those beautiful background photos that you're seeing throughout this. That's Drew Pirtle I believe he's actually a St. Charles citizen, so sorry, or resident. But he was recently selected as one of like 4, outstanding photographers from Shaw Media, and he does really, really great work. So all of those photos, we commission them, and our municipal partners are welcome to use them how they see fit. We just really prefer that you all credit Drew, not us. We don't need the credit, we just paid for it. So, so that's it. That's the plan. That's the performance to date. And any questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Curtis? Yes, Alderperson Maliki. Excuse me, Councilor Wright.
Appreciate the data.
Sure.
It's great to see it, like real data kind of stuff, backing everything up. But I didn't hear you mention anything about our festivals.
Sure.
Which I thought was a little, I think it's implied like in some places, but it's really what I feel like is what sort of Geneva Summer is all about.
Absolutely.
And so I was just wondering how you plan to fit that in, and
Geneva's festivals are obviously a key driver of visitation, especially to 3rd Street throughout the year. We mentioned it kind of in that earlier part of the destination marketing, festivals and events like Swedish Days. Can I give you my Chicago accent pronunciation of concours d'elegance? Like the French Market. They're all foregrounded in the content that we put out there. We produce regular event guides on social media and our website. And we do kind of as roundups. So it's not just about any one event. It's about look at all there is to do in this region, especially with the fact that we cover 12 communities plus all of Kendall County. So that, to me, that's kind of like best practice for our industry, because we're speaking to people who aren't necessarily familiar with our region in general. And they're also not specifically attached to any one event, but we try to give them a menu of, if you're here with kids, here's like 6 or 7 great events to go attend. If you're here as a couple or with friends, sort of an adult getaway, here's a bunch of things to check out. And if you're just interested, I'm gonna be there in July, here's everything. So that's how we kind of cycle our content. We're putting money behind that when we promote it. It's just not part of this individualized marketing plan, if that makes sense.
from a marketing point of view, if you don't mind me asking respectfully, why not?
It's branding. We're hitting people who are outside of the region, and we want them to come and enjoy the region, whether or not they can make it on the last weekend in June or whatever it might be. We obviously want them to base their stay around those events if they do find them interesting, and they are promoted to a certain extent via social media, but we're putting a lot of money behind sort of event promotion as a region. And so we feel like we're getting the word out that way, in a way that branding Geneva as a come visit during the week, come visit on a weekend, come visit when it's cold, you know, after all the apple orchards are shut down, you can still come and enjoy the region. And that's kind of what we do in terms of best practices from a tourism perspective.
Okay. I was just curious how the math added up consistently in your presentation, but how do you come up with economic impact?
So that's primarily Datafy is the visitor analytics program that gives
So
us
that
that.
tells you the dollar value as well?
The state gives us generic information for the region, but we're now able to get card swipe data out of Datafy. And we're also able to, pair it with like our, STR, used to be called Smith Travel Research, but they give us like the ADR, or average daily rate for the region. And so when you add those things up and you look at how many people visited hotels, how many people ended up in the region, and what was their average spend if they were coming here, whether they're from Rockford or Cedar Rapids, it doesn't matter, we can tell what their generically average, not down to the individual consumer, what they're spending, and then it adds up from there.
Okay. One last question.
Sure.
We're fourth on the landing page. What's 1, 2, and 3? I gotta know.
Offhand, I can't, but this ties in neatly with your first question. Events is always 1 or 2. So the events landing page of our website, and that's typically because you've got people who've already planned travel, they discover us. Like, if you just want a hotel room, you're going to find a hotel room. And if you just want to come to Chicagoland, you're going to find a place to be in Chicagoland. But if you know you're coming to our region, hopefully, with everything that we're doing behind the scenes, you're finding us. And then you're saying, oh, I'm going to be there January 20th. What is there to do? And typically, that's how they end up in the events page. And not only that, we've got an events page, we've got a featured events page, and that's where Geneva's signature festivals are featured there as well. And then a sort of this weekend or upcoming, where if you just want to know what's happening this weekend, we've got that updated as well.
So are those the three?
Events, homepage events, those are always going to be 1 and 2. And then number 3, offhand, I couldn't tell you. It might be Broadway or Chris Kindle Market, because those are 2 main
Fair
drivers as
enough.
well. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right,
Sure.
thank you for the good presentation. I
Absolutely.
really
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Anyone else before I recognize Alderperson Bowering a second time? Alderperson Kilberg.
Just one question. Okay,
And Marks?
you have the data. How do you establish a control and how do you benchmark the increase?
So we're
In
not.
other words, what were we doing in 2024? What were we doing in 2023? Obviously, you have data here. What's to say that we were doing that previously?
I can't speak to 23 or 24.
So we really, there isn't a control.
There is, because we're not targeting everybody. If we targeted whatever it is, 30 million people throughout the Midwest, we'd be wasting a lot of money. We're only targeting people who fit into those demographic profiles and then lookalikes based on those demographic profiles. So what we're saying is within this cohort, let's call it 200,000 people located through 20 to 25 different markets throughout the Midwest. It's going to be more than that, but just to keep things level and to try and help me with mental math, that's a significant portion who aren't part of that cohort who are seeing our ads. And they're able to measure those people and say, are they coming to Geneva? That's the control. And if they're not, but the people within the cohort of the advertising program are, you take the delta between who's coming and who's not outside of the cohort. Does that make sense?
I guess.
Okay, sure. If it doesn't, I'm happy to talk about this at length. I don't want to take up a ton of time talking about it, but I'm happy to talk about it in greater detail.
You have figures, but against what? In other words, what were these return on investment? Well, there was no investment previously. In other words, with your group, it just seems, I guess, as we move forward, we will have.
You'll have benchmarks.
We'll
right?
have
Yeah.
data that we can benchmark against, but
Exactly.
at this point in time, it's somewhat conjecture.
It's happening in real time. So if you've got 200,000 people who are part of the cohort and then 2 million who aren't, you can measure their likelihood to travel based on their actual
What would be the
movements to the region.
statistical significance of your data? In other words, the margin of error, plus or minus.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
you
sure
don't have to
compared-
answer
okay,
that if you
yeah.
don't want to, but
Yeah, I'm not sure compared to what, though.
in other words, the company that's providing you the engine to do this, what do they say is the
On the ad-
statistical spread between, is it 5% or 10% or 20%?
On the advertising side, it's 1-to-1. Because, like, the technology we're using, we're able to actually pixel and track people who are being exposed to the ads. Does that make sense? So it's not, there's no margin of error there because we're actually, it's mobile device data, and they're being tagged as they're being advertised to, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alderperson Marks, did you have your hand up? Alderperson Bowering?
Thank you. I just wanted to second Alderperson Kostrog. This was hugely informative, and I'm so excited to see already these amazing numbers. 10-to-1 return on investment, 18-to-1 return on investment. That's just phenomenal. And I guess, because I feel like I'm probably putting together what pixeling is, but basically what you're saying is what Datafy does is it like puts a little sticker on you
Basically.
when it shows you an ad, and
Right.
then it knows you are you because you carry your cell phone everywhere, and it probably can match up that cell phone with your credit card. And also then when you come anywhere, it's keeping track of
Yes.
literally where you go, literally what you buy, which to me is a little terrifying.
pretty creepy,
but,
yeah.
Yep, super creepy, but renders all of this data because
Yeah.
it shows, we showed you this ad on this day, and then on this day you came to Geneva and you ate here
Right.
and you stayed here and blah, blah, blah.
It's not quite that.
Okay.
And we're not exposed to that level of
Sure,
granularity.
sure.
Right. But that's essentially it.
But that's
right.
in it, okay,
Yeah.
just in case there were others that seem to not necessarily follow, there's a little tiny bit of
Yeah.
jargon in there. I don't know what pixeling is, but
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's
yeah,
like.
I know.
I'm
Too-
gonna use
too
my
much within
analogy
the-
of a sticker.
right.
Anyway, it's fine.
I appreciate it.
But no, I really appreciate this, and I think it's just phenomenal what we're seeing already. And, as you noted, we'll just see those numbers likely grow. And
Yeah.
so thank you.
Thank you.
This is very exciting.
Excellent.
I think
Thank you.
for everyone doing any kind of commerce in Geneva.
Yeah, and speaking of, just a quick shout out, we have several ways to get in touch with us and to onboard with us. So anybody who's in your wards or districts, please let them know that we're available. If they have any publicly visitable business that would appeal to a visitor,
Okay.
shopping, retail, et cetera, please let them know. We're here to help and want to get everybody onboarded to, benefit from the region-wide promotion.
Sounds great. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Thank
And
you.
Court, thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Our next item on the agenda is item 4, amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments this evening? Item 5 is the omnibus agenda. All items marked with an asterisk on this agenda can be considered routine and can be voted on with one motion. Is there such a motion? Motion by Paschke, seconded by Mayor. City Clerk, please take the roll.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
Bowery? Aye. Furnish?
Aye.
Hilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
The omnibus agenda has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. We jump to item 8, municipal bills for payment. We kindly ask our city clerk to please read the bills in their aggregate for our consideration.
Municipal bills for payment total $6,439,047.07.
Mayor, I move that we approve and pay the bills as read, the individual items for which can be found in tonight's packet, which is available on the city's website.
Alderperson Bauer makes the motion to pay the bills as presented, which are available in each council member's packet and on the city's website. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Kasserag. You and Maliki have the same colors on, so I get. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like. How's that for a save, right there? Beards. Yeah, and beards. Oh, my God. Well, I wouldn't go that far. There's a motion and a second. City Clerk, please take the roll.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
With 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent, the bills have been approved for payment by this council. We jump to item 10, presentation of ordinances, resolutions, and other items. 10A is to consider ordinance number 2026-02, granting variation to reduce the required street yard building and parking setbacks along Kesslinger Road and to reduce the required number of off-street parking spaces. Motion by Bowering, seconded by, I believe that was Paschke. Ms. Voigt, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would like to note before I start that items A and B are companion items. So the ordinance number 2026-02 the first is an ordinance requesting two variations, a reduction in the street yard building and parking setbacks, along Kesslinger Road, and a reduction in the required off-street parking spaces. So the subject property falls within the corridor overlay district. The standards of that district are further articulated in the executive summary. Staff noted that the applicant is able to request up to a 20% variance. The applicant opted to request only a 10%. And staff also noted that the current property layout does limit the overall buildability of the site. And lastly, this request met all of the standards required and was unanimously approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission on December 11th. And we do have Director DeGroot here if there are additional questions.
Are there additional questions for Director DeGroot? Seeing none, sensing none. On item 10A, City Clerk, please take the roll.
Bowering,
Aye.
Furnish,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kasserag,
Aye.
Maliki,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
Palmquist,
Aye.
Paschke,
Aye.
Reinecke.
Aye.
Ordinance 2026-02 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. Jumping to item 10B, consider ordinance 2026-03, granting a special use permit for a daycare facility to be located at 501 Lark Street. Paschke makes the motion, seconded by Palmquist. Anything to add, Ms. Voigt?
Yes, this portion of the item is an ordinance requesting a special use permit, which is required due to the property currently being zoned B4 Business District. This portion of the request also met all of the standards and was also unanimously approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission on December 11th.
Questions for the director or city administrator? City Clerk, please take the roll.
Paschke,
Aye.
Reinecke,
Aye.
Bowering,
Aye.
Furnish,
Aye.
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kasserag,
Aye.
Maliki,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
Palmquist.
Aye.
Ordinance 2026-03 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 no votes, and 0 council members absent. Item 10C, consider resolution number 2026-07, authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with CDM Smith for a secondary treatment intensification study in an amount not to exceed $69,700. Oh, fudge. Paschke and Kasserag, I believe. We'll go. Oh, Maliki. Who was it? Who? I'm teasing, for God. Paschke and Mayor. Ms. Voigt, please say something.
Thank you. The item before the City Council this evening is a resolution requesting to enter into a professional service agreement with CDM Smith for an intensification study for the wastewater treatment plant. This is a proactive request to evaluate and plan for future needs due to the potential for increased industrial growth expected in the city. We do have a representative, we have Superintendent Van Gescam here, and we also have a representative of CDM Smith if there are questions. I did receive one council question related to this item, which was posted to the website, but we do have people here if there are additional questions.
Additional questions from the dais for either superintendent or our guest from CDM Smith? Alderperson Reinecke, the floor is yours.
This looks like a marvelous idea, so nicely done. I appreciate this coming forward. Will we be, as a group, will we be receiving a report on this when it's completed? Will we know what the recommendations are based on this assessment? Okay.
I don't know who nodded at you, but yes, right? Yes. Thanks, Bob. Anyone else for the superintendent or our friend from CDM Smith? City Clerk, please take the roll on item 10C.
Paschke,
Aye.
Reinecke,
Aye.
Bowering,
Aye.
Furnish,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Kasserag,
Aye.
Maliki,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
Palmquist.
Aye.
Resolution 2026-07 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. Item 10D, Consider Resolution 2026-08, authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding for the City of Geneva's participation in the Western Chicagoland Merger Oversight Alliance. Motion by Mayor, seconded by Paschke. City Administrator Voigt.
Thank you. The resolution before the council is to request authorization for the City of Geneva to sign a memorandum of understanding and participate in the Western Chicago Merger Oversight Alliance, along with 6 other communities on the UP Norfolk Southern Line. The purpose of this group is an effort to protect all of our community's interests in the merger process. The City of Winfield will serve as the lead agency, and Geneva's maximum cost for participation would be approximately $7,200. I will note that as of Friday, the merger application was rejected by the Surface Transportation Board. However, we are anticipating they will reapply. If for some reason the merger does not go through, we wouldn't have spent any of the money. This would be to pay for the attorney representing the communities, the 7 communities in total, if we should determine that we need to weigh in on something. And with that, I can take, the memorandum of understanding is attached, and I will do my best to answer any questions related to this item.
Questions from the dais for the City Administrator. City Clerk, please take the roll on item 10D.
Mayor. Aye. Palmquist.
Aye.
Paschke.
Aye.
Reinecke.
Aye.
Bowering.
Aye.
Furnish.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Kasserag.
Aye.
Malachy.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
Resolution 2026-08 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. Item 10E is to consider ordinance number 2026-04, amending Title 4, Business and License Regulations, Chapter 2, Liquor Control, Sections 4-2-11, Classifications, and 4-2-13, Fees, by creating a Class D10 hotel beer and wine package sales liquor license for our friends at Comfort Inn. Motion by Bowring. Seconded by Kasserag. Ms. Voigt.
Thank you. As noted, the ordinance before the council is a request to modify the liquor code to create a classification hotel beer and wine package sales. This request was generated by one of our hotel businesses, the Comfort Inn and Suites, and the licensee would be required to comply with all other Class D requirements.
From the dais, any questions? If not, City Clerk, please take the roll on item 10E.
Bowering.
Aye.
Furnish.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Kasserag.
Aye.
Malachy.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Palmquist.
Aye.
Paschke.
Aye.
Reinecke.
Aye.
Ordinance 2026-04 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 council members absent. We now are at item 11, public comment. We invite anyone who wishes to share anything with the City Council. We invite you to the podium. We ask that you please keep your comments respectfully brief. It's likely that other people wish to speak as well. And with that, the floor is open. Please note that there will be no debate, no discussion, no decisions made. It's your chance to speak. It's our chance to listen. Yes. It's open floor, folks.
Good evening, Mayor and the City Council and the city staff. My name is Susan Huang, and I've called Geneva home for about 30 years. Like many of you, I wear multiple hats. I'm a resident as well as a local business owner, and I am also the treasurer of the Geneva Chamber Board's Executive Committee. Whenever I travel, and recently I was speaking to somebody in middle of Indiana, The moment I say I'm from Geneva, Illinois, their faces just light up. They don't just know our name. They remember a specific meal that they had in town, or a shop they love that they love to talk about endlessly, or the magic of our festivals. We're not just a dot on the map, we are a destination, and that reputation is the most valuable currency we have. In 2025, the Chamber showcased 4 major festivals in town, many I'm sure you're familiar with. In addition, many smaller events. Festivals are an economic development tool, not unlike a TIF district. The economic benefits are huge. In 2026, we're moving forward. For example, this week, I'll remind you all that this is Restaurant Week. So we are showcasing over our local flavors, and there are 30 local restaurants, chamber members as well as non-chamber members, who are offering food from our talented chefs in town. The fests, large and small, require hundreds of hours of planning and implementation, and not to mention thousands of dollars to actually execute them. As a chamber, we track the pulse of the downtown district on a daily basis. Despite being in some general ads, we're really not seeing that translate into tangible results. Certainly not to the level that our festivals are. Festivals require funds to remain sustainable. We thank the Geneva Chamber, or the Geneva City, for your festival sponsorship last year. It was really critical for us. In 2026 now, we're into planning, is underway, and the assets, our festivals, need to be protected. The reality is that we are operating in a tighter environment. We see the city resources being stretched thin, and the chamber reserves are getting to fade. What will happen to our festivals? A few years ago, the city provided promotional advertising funds to us for a year that was to the tune of about $150,000. This came from a percentage of the hotel motel tax. In recent years, the chamber received nothing one year, and in 2025, $50,000. Naturally, the lack of funding for the last few years has contributed to the chamber's decrease in revenues and our inability to host festivals in the same manner that we had in the past. We are at a crossroads. We can't be doing the same thing we've always done in the past, and it's no longer a guarantee of future prosperity. Geneva has always been the master of its own destiny because of one thing, I believe, and that's the partnership we have. It's the grassroots synergy where, for example, the chamber buys the holiday greens and the city installs them. It's a blueprint for success that our neighbors envy. But a blueprint is only as good as its builders. To maintain a foundation, we must innovate. We must deepen our bonds. We can't afford to let the local control of our destiny slip through our fingers because we failed to communicate. The Geneva Chamber has been preparing a presentation of a vision for the future for several months now. We aren't looking for just a seat at the table. We're looking to share a roadmap on how we can work together with the city to partnership to ensure that Geneva remains the gold standard of the Fox Valley. On behalf of the board, I'm respectfully asking, once again, for formal time on an agenda. Let us show you how we can work together to bolster our success for the next 30 years. Geneva's success is not an accident. It's a result of a deliberate local partnership. We need your support, and more importantly, our whole business community needs our unified leadership. Thank you.
Hello, Patrice Berthel, Geneva Voices. Imagine, if you will, a bustling city corner, prime real estate standing silent and forsaken for years, a ghostly remnant of potential unrealized. Enter a visionary developer armed with a $45 million dream and a sterling history of breathing life back into historic gems. He acquires the property, visions of renewal dancing in his mind. 2 years hence, a shadowy independent force emerges from the ether, slapping a landmark designation on 3 forgotten walls. Walls long shrouded in obscurity, what follows is a labyrinth of bureaucratic night twilight, 8 interminable years of obstruction, inaction echoing through empty halls. Lost revenues bleed through city coffers, while residents are deprived of the vibrancy that they crave. Undeterred, our protagonist petitions for the 3rd time to demolish the decaying shell, sweetening the plea with a grand memorial showcase to honor the site's storied past, a gift to the public, a bridge between history and progress. And yet for the 3rd time, the iron gates of denial clang shut. Even as 60% of the town folk clamor for demolition, the powers that be proclaim a desire to collaborate with the developer while charting no map, no path forward through the fog. Hundreds of thousands in squandered dollars swirl down the drain. The corner remains a barren void, a monument to stagnation. And the zone twists even deeper. Behold Geneva's cherished Swedish days, the granddaddy of Illinois festivals, the beating heart of our community's identity. 5 days of music, parades, carnival rides, Swedish heritage, craft beer tents, kids' day, downtown energy that draws thousands and defines our summer spirit. For 2026, this cornerstone event now hangs in serious jeopardy. The City Council has diverted and withheld critical funding from the Chamber of Commerce. The dedicated, experienced stewards who've successfully organized and driven this massive festival for decades, knowing exactly how to pull it off with precision and with pride. This diversion, redirecting those dollars to the Aurora Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, an entity not solely focused on Geneva and with no track record of managing our signature event, has handcuffed the chamber. With funding uncertainty and delays, funding that was promised at the time and has yet been undelivered on that promise, they cannot advertise effectively, secure sponsors, or plan properly for an event of this scale. You can't just pull a festival of this magnitude out of a hat at the last minute. It requires months, often a full year of preparation, coordination, and promotion to ensure success. Without the Chamber's proven expertise and timely resources, the festival's viability is genuinely threatened. The laughter, the blue and yellow pride, the echoes of tradition could fade into uncertain silence, all because of the shift away from the organization that knows Geneva best and has delivered year after year after year after year. Funding both the Aurora Area Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Chamber, it's not an either or choice. It's a necessary partnership. The Bureau is using data analytics and regional marketing visitor insights to steer people towards our area, building awareness and drawing crowds from beyond our borders. The Chamber handles actual implementation. It's boots on the ground planning, vendor coordination, sponsor management, and execution that can turn those visitors into a thriving, successful festival. One without the other leaves a gaping hole. Anything less risks dimming the very tradition that binds us. So stepping out of that surreal fog, let's face the reality. This administration's legacy will be one of missed opportunities and unintended consequences, a chapter in Geneva's history that future residents will look back on with disappointment. They'll be remembered for allowing prime land to sit idle for years, for decisions that threaten beloved traditions like Swedish days, a legacy of stalled progress and unfulfilled potential, rather than growth and vitality that our community deserves. It's time to turn the page and choose a different path forward, one that protects Geneva's traditions, keeps our heritage strong, and works towards real progress for all who call this place home. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Yep. Welcome.
Hi, Council. Good evening. I'm Amanda Driscoll. I'm at 105 Dartmouth Court in Geneva. I just want to make a comment based on the unanimous passing of Part A and B of tonight's agenda. I'm deeply saddened that that was unanimous. I don't know any of your reflection on that intersection and what you did or did not, what time you did or did not put into considering that location for a daycare facility. I have my handouts. I was prepared again to share the data of that high crash intersection. And additionally, I had at-home viewers that actually positively commented on my comment 2 weeks ago. One actually is a city engineer, and he informed me that that is the highest crash intersection in King County. And another one that updated me saying, based on the 14 rooms that are expected to be in that building, that means that there's 28 employee teachers. That's not including directors or anybody who might be an admin. So on average, we could say 30 of those parking spaces of 45, 2/3 of those parking spaces will be allotted to employees. So we have 15 parking spots that are allotted to 173 students, if that's a full capacity building. So I just sincerely wish that there was maybe a little more pushback for this piece of our agenda. And I guess we'll all see how it all turns out in the next 10 years, how it goes with children on that intersection, traffic patterns, parents waiting, getting caught, stuck behind emergency vehicles. I mean, the opportunities are endless, but once again, I just wholeheartedly believe that this is not an intersection for children, for daycare facility. Everything about that plot was forced. It was forced. Decreasing the parking spaces, decreasing the setbacks closer to the high crest intersection, and allowing a daycare to go into a zoned business section of our city where it doesn't belong. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you being here and listening to me. God bless you.
Thank you. Anyone else? The podium's open.
Hi, my name is Kathy Showalter. I agree with this woman. I think it's crazy to put a preschool in that intersection. I've lived in Pepper Valley. I've listened to all the sirens. I've watched the traffic build up. I can't imagine how you can pass that. Where are our codes? Don't we have zonings to stop that? Kevin? I know you can't answer right now. I get it. But think about it. You got ambulances, you got fire trucks, you got school buses. What's it going to be for the school buses? We in Pepper Valley can hardly get out of there right now. I mean, I know. I've lived there since '82. Come on. Think about this before you pass things like this. I don't think, excuse my French, I don't think there's a shot in hell now we can beat this because you've passed it. Is that correct? I believe that's right. But, you know, think about what you're doing. Traffic is a zoo. And I agree. That intersection, along with the one right next to it on Brisher Road, is horrendous. Yes, we got the hospital right there, so you got all the emergency vehicles going back and forth. Wake up, please. Do we need a daycare there? Why? That is such a dangerous spot. Think about what you're doing for our city. Think about what you're doing to our community. Come on. please think about things before you pass them through. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm going to ask if there's anyone else who wishes to speak who has not yet spoken.
She's inspired me. What was your name? Kathy. Thank you for speaking. I'm also in Pepper Valley, and I'm also the small business owner in the Pepper Valley Plaza. So I'm highly aware of the traffic at that intersection. For our viewers at home, and because I saw a couple new faces, I saw some new faces in here, I'm going to read the summary that I put together from the Freedom of Information Act that I submitted and the data that I received from the Geneva Police Department. Here we go. I'm doing this because I believe that nothing is final until the building is up and the children are in it. So this is just in hopes that there has to be a way. There has to be a way that we can reverse, or the city can push back, the residents can push back against this decision that was made tonight. So, intersection of South Randall Road and Kesslinger-Caneville Road, Geneva, Illinois. This summary is based on an official accident search report covering the period from March 3rd, 2020 through November 19th, 2025 for the intersection of South Randall Road and Kesslinger-Caneville Road. During this approximately 5.75-year period, the intersection experienced a total of 49 reported traffic accidents, equating to an average of approximately 8.5 crashes per year. Of these incidents, approximately 28 were classified as injury accidents, while approximately 21 involved property damage only. This means that nearly 60% of all crashes at this location resulted in reported injuries, a rate that is significantly higher than what is typically observed at comparable suburban signalized intersections, which is typically 20 to 30%. By comparison, traffic engineering benchmarks generally indicate that a typical signalized suburban intersection experiences 1 to 3 crashes per year, with less than 1 injury crash annually. Intersections are commonly identified as high crash or high priority locations when they exceed 5 total crashes per year or 3 injury crashes per year. Based on the documented data, the Randall Road and Kesslinger Road intersection exceeds both of these commonly accepted thresholds. It is reported that in 2011, the intersection had 40 incidents in 1 year. Additionally, the crash data shows consistent occurrences across multiple years, rather than being concentrated in a single anomalous period. Accidents are recorded during a variety of times of day, including peak traffic hours, indicating that the issue is likely related to traffic volume, intersection design, signal operations, or returning conflicts, rather than isolated driving behavior. In summary, the sustained crash frequency, elevated injury rate, and multi-year pattern of incidents strongly suggest that the southwest corner of this intersection is unsafe and unfit to be used as a site for a daycare facility. Thank you for your time. I have these handouts, so if you want to take one, take a photo, post it on your local groups.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I kindly not ask that we have a debate between
No,
residents
it's okay.
just by using the podium, but go ahead.
Kathy Showalter again.
Of course.
I remember when we tried to pass a car wash there. Do you remember?
It was I don't, but go ahead.
You don't remember?
The Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts, and there was a car wash that was offered there too. And it's like, no, they wouldn't offer that, they wouldn't issue that because of the traffic in and out. You know, what difference does it make if you're on this corner or the opposite corner? You still got the traffic pattern. You know, these school buses, I can't imagine the delay they're going to have with the daycare coming in and out. I mean, people are putting their kids in daycare because they have to work. So anyway, that was just one more thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? New business by the council. The floor is open. Anyone? Alderperson Kasserag? And then
Yeah, I
I'll turn
just
it over
wanted-
to City Administrator Voigt.
What did he say? What'd you say at the end?
I said, you're up.
Okay.
Next
I
is
just wanted to share that in terms of the referendum upcoming, that Alderman Kilberg and I met with some people with an organization, the Geneva Community Chest, that we both belong to. Some people are in the audience. I think it went great. I think we answered some unique questions that I didn't expect to come up, like what's happening with the library and how does that relate? So you never know what you're going to hear, but I felt a good amount of support there, and I hope to do many more. Another thing that I think worked out is rather than just send somebody, I know there's a lot of people that have signed up for the police station, but I offered to accompany them and sort of pick a time to go along with them. Again, Dean's going to join me. But I feel like we were able to maybe get some people that might have hesitated to put it off over and over again. So again, just sharing ideas. I feel like we should talk about the referendum at least one little bit at every meeting. So just wanted to share a couple of my success stories that I had this week. And that's it. Thank you.
Anyone else? City Administrator Voigt.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderperson Kasserag. So I did, based on the conversation from the last council meeting, put together some updates. So I am pleased to share with the council and the community that our virtual tour of the police department is now available on the city's website. You can find it where you would sign up for the tours. The virtual tour is there. So if you have people that are concerned about stairs or just don't have the time, that is available now. And I did want to thank Kevin Starr, Joe Viso, members of the PD command staff, and members of the Geneva Police Department who participated in that. So I hope everyone will check that out. And I also am pleased to share that our Strategic Plan Advisory Committee will be hosting 3 informational open houses, February 4th, 18th, and 25th. Those dates will be shared. We'll make sure that everyone receives that information, 2 evening, 1 daytime, all at the Geneva Public Library. And there will be stations set up. Again, it's to get people to engage with the information and answer questions that people have, nice face-to-face interaction options there. And then just by way of an update, in 7 days, we have had approximately 50 people tour the police department. And registrations continue to come in. I think that's been very powerful for people to be able to interface with the chief and some of our officers and just see the condition of the station and understand the process. So that's my update for now. We'll continue to keep everyone apprised. So when we have the final details on the open houses, obviously we will share those with all of you. We do have the additional print brochures, and those are on the website as well. And if you have other community groups that are interested, please continue to keep us posted. We do also have a PowerPoint. If any council members do have the opportunity to present, we have that ready for you. So, thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the council meeting. Kasserag makes the motion. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thanks very much, everybody.